And our guest tonight is Mpasu, president of the New Labour Party, NLP.
Let me thank you very much for accepting to join us in the program today.
It is a pleasure to participate. I thank you for having me on your radio.
Thank you very much indeed. To start with, the government is under pressure to explain the recent extended trip of President Mutharika to the US. And you are one of those individuals exerting that pressure on the government. Why do you think it is important for the government to do so?
Well, all of us as Malawians do regard President Peter Mutharika as a national president. He is the president of the Republic of Malawi. He is the head of state of the Republic of Malawi. He is the head of government of the Republic of Malawi. So it is a total mistake to talk about the president in terms of party politics. That is totally wrong. He is the head of state of the Republic of Malawi. He is the head of government of the Republic of Malawi. And he is head of state 24 hours every day of his life.
Do you think there's a problem when you seem to be not contented with the kind of explanation you get from the government side? Because all along we have heard the government spokesperson, or indeed those that speak on behalf of the president, explaining that the president had other engagements in the US on behalf of the Malawi government.
We do expect our government to be transparent with us. They are accountable to us. We want to know what is happening to our president. We want to know what he's doing, because he's our president. He's supposed to be running this country right here in Malawi, not from abroad. So his welfare is our concern. We want to know if he's in a position to run this country for our social and economic welfare, for our security, for our various needs. Each man, woman, and child in Malawi is in his hands. So we want to know where he is and what he's doing in looking after us. This country is facing enormous problems. Food shortages, inadequate services in our hospitals, problems in our schools and colleges. I mean, stark naked and fooling around with his genitals when he should be working. And there's no one to discipline him. I mean, these kind of things, it's as if we have no president when we have a president. And we want to know where he is and what he's doing.
Now, my question is, because we all know, or we all knew that the president was going to the U.S. for the General Assembly. And after that, asking the government side, they told us that the president had extended his stay in the U.S. Because he had other business to fulfill on behalf of the Malawi government. And I'm asking you to say, do you think there's a problem when you in the opposition fail to take such explanations from those that speak on behalf of the government, or indeed on behalf of the president? Because you haven't bought such explanations from the government side.
Well, we know that they are telling us lies, and it's not fair to tell Malawians lies.
Why do you say they're telling lies? What's the truth that you know yourself?
We know that when everything is okay, President Mutharika is always on the TV. They tell us today he's doing this, tomorrow he's doing this, and all that. And you can't say he's visiting or he's chatting with foreign investors, and you don't tell us. It's totally uncharacteristic of them.
Aren't there meetings that are held in camera, Mr. Mpasu? You have been in government yourself. You should know these things better.
It is not about me. It's about the behavior of the government with regard to President Mutharika. They have always publicized every little thing he has done. Why haven't they been publicizing what he has been doing in the States now?
You answer my question. Aren't there meetings that are conducted or held in camera?
There are.
So
as far as I know, when this president is receiving an honor here, even a significant honor relating to his former life as an academician, it's public news here. It's on television. It's in the papers. But suddenly, for 3 weeks, we don't know what he's doing. Aren't we entitled to be suspicious?
But do you agree with those who say that those suspicions went overboard? Because, or I should say Malawians went a bit overboard with their suspicions, because we heard stories, Mr. Mpasu. We read on social media people alleging or claiming that the president is sick. People said a lot of things about the president.
You can't blame people for going overboard when you don't give them correct information. Silence breeds rumors. That's a fact everywhere in the world. If you're not transparent, you're giving people an opportunity to fabricate stories. So if they do not want any rumors attached to our president, they should be forthcoming and tell us what is happening with him. There's nothing, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. We are all human beings. We fall sick. We even fall when we are walking. I mean, he tumbled and fell down in Milongwe when he was doing the tree planting. That was public news. Nobody laughed at him. We know we do that. He's as human as any one of us. All we want to know is what is happening with our president.
So, are you telling this radio that as far as you're concerned, there are indicators that the president is not well, Mr. Mpasu?
Yes, I am, because when he landed at the airport, there was something very unusual that everyone noticed.
Like what?
He was waving to the people with his left hand, and he could hardly move his right hand.
So is that enough telling you that the president is not well by just waving using his left hand?
Not only that, he was whisked away without addressing the people, and he normally addresses the people. So when you get all those things, people do notice that there's something wrong. He's not in the best of his health.
But what is it telling you when you go on social media and see a lot of people from the government side, even those in the media, are posting pictures of the president using the left hand in some circumstances? We have seen those pictures now going viral on social media, trying to justify why the president used the left hand when he arrived in the country from the U.S. What is telling you when you see those pictures on social media? Do you still maintain that the use of the left hand when he arrived in the country was a sign that the president is not well?
Look, we know if the president is in full health, he's a very active man. Goes up and down the country, he speaks, he waves, he does everything. We know now that after 3 weeks of silence, he came with a plane that was not scheduled, and we saw him getting out of the plane, coming down, shaking hands with a few people, and then whisked away. All those are unusual things, and people are entitled to speculate. And the only way to kill speculation is for the government to be transparent.
But do you think the government is being forced to say something that is not there, Mr. Mpasu? Because the government has time and again explained, for example, the extended stay of the president in the U.S. We have asked them as well. For example, the issue of the president using the left hand. Some of them say they didn't even see that. We have the chief secretary who told us that he didn't even take note of that.
We are happy the president is back. He has been met. There are a lot of Malawians that went to meet him, and he's back at the palace.
There were observations like the president used his left hand when coming from the plane. Should the people read too much into that, or it was one of those things?
Well, I didn't see that. I mean, if people saw something that is unfamiliar, I didn't see that. Yeah, everything's fine.
Talking to the State House, they say they don't have any information indicating that the president is not well. But still, we are getting those sentiments from the opposition who are forcing the government to say something. What else do you need from the government?
As I said earlier on, we should not look at this issue in terms of party politics. It's not opposition parties ganging up against the ruling party. It's not the ruling party defending itself against unwarranted attacks by the opposition parties. We are talking about our president, the president of all Malawians. He's not a president of DPP only. We couldn't care less. We talk about him, we care about him, the president of the Republic of Malawi. So this is not an opposition issue. It is a national issue. We are all very interested in his health. And if there's anything wrong, we all want to know. And we want to know what the government is doing to help him get back into his office to look after us and take care of the problems that are tormenting us.
But your critics are saying that, or are claiming that you're not saying this in good faith. You're just saying this maybe to score political mileage.
What political mileage can anyone score from this? I mean, when you were talking about a national leader, a president of the whole country, of all Malawians, not of the DPP, but of all Malawians, what score can anyone make?
You're not doing politics here? You being a politician, a leader of a political party?
It has nothing to do with the politics. And if you look at the claims and the cries, it's not only political leaders in opposition. Every person from all walks of life, civil society, media people, academia, they're all commenting, making the same comment. This is not a political issue. It has nothing to do with politics.
And today in the program, I'm talking to Mpasu, acting president of the New Labour Party, NLP.
Now, tell us, Mr. Mpasu, before we go to another issue, what exactly do you want to hear from the government in as far as this issue is concerned? Because you have repeatedly told me that the government should be transparent enough. What exactly should come from the government that will satisfy you in as far as your demands for the government to be transparent?
We want them to tell Malawians the truth about the welfare of our president. That's all. They should not feed the nation with lies.
You are president of the New Labour Party. How are things in the New Labour Party, Mr. Mpasu?
Just as there are in many other parties in opposition, we facing problems because Malawians are facing problems. You can't go to a rally now, people are hungry. You can't really concentrate on parties and politics because they are national issues pressing all of us in education, in health, in agriculture, everything. It's as if ministers who are entrusted with the responsibility of running their ministries are not doing anything. And you talk about ESCOM, the power blackouts, water boards, nothing seems to be working.
You've talked about you not holding political rallies because people are hungry. What's the connection? Are you telling us that people can hardly patronize your meetings because they are hungry?
You try to go and hold a public meeting when people are hungry. Are they going to participate when they are looking for food?
Are you just using this as a scapegoat? Because already your political party is described as one of the briefcase political parties that we have in the country that can hardly pull people together in meetings like the one that we are discussing here. So are you using this as a scapegoat, Mr. Mpasu?
No, not at all. Listen, politics is very dynamic, very, very dynamic. There are parties that used to be running this country. They are now just a former shadow of themselves. We're going to believe that the MCP ran this country for 30 years. We're going to believe that UDF ran this country for 10 years. We're going to believe that hardly 2 years ago, PP was in power. So that should disturb me or anybody. We try our luck, and if people buy up our principles, we'll go. If they don't, we'll go. But it doesn't bother me at all, and I'm sure many other political leaders in this country are not bothered at all.
I did ask you this question some time back, and I'm repeating this question today, Mr. Mpasu. Who is with you in this political party? Is it a one-man show?
Can it be a political party with a one-man show? No, it can't. There are people. Just to register a party, you need hundreds of people to sign.
Yeah, but I mean now at leadership level, because we only hear from you, Mr. Mpasu, as acting president of the party. Who are other individuals in the party? For example, general secretary of the party, vice president of the party, spokesperson of the political party. Do you have these people in place?
Yes, we have. And the reason you hear from me is because you're always contacting me and you're not contacting the others.
But you have general secretary, for example.
Yes.
Who is this?
Mr. Jinkota.
How do you look at the future of New Labour Party? We know we have elections. Is it 2019? How do you look at the future of your party?
We are not looking at the future of our party in terms of today only. We are looking at it as a permanent fixture on the Malawi political scene, in the sense that we want young men and women to buy it into our programs and principles, take over from the old generation and make it more and more dynamic, so that in the near future somewhere it will go into power. That's how we look at it. We don't look at it in terms of personalities, that because I am the current president, then no one else should not be president, or I should hand it over only to my son or my brother. That's not the way we look at our politics and our party.
We have heard other political parties talking on a possibility of forming an alliance ahead of the elections in 2019. Are you part of these talks that are going on?
I can assure you that it's not the first time people have been talking about the need to have fewer political parties in order to have a meaningful political discourse in this country. Just before the polling 2 years ago, a number of those 12 presidential candidates actually met and said, look, we are letting Malawians down. Can we withdraw and have only one? But by that time, they had already registered with the Malawi Electoral Commission. They couldn't change. So the idea of having fewer political parties, but stronger parties, it's in the mind of almost every Malawian. It's
But
important.
people argue that it's because of greedy, power-hungry people, politicians that we have in the country. That's why we have so many political parties having so many presidential candidates. Because, like the issue that you're raising here, what was the point of talking at the time they had already registered with the Malawi Electoral Commission?
What we must always remember is why are there so many political parties? When we had a single-party system for 30 years, we held a referendum and we decided to have a multi-party democracy. And the first parliamentary elections, presidential elections in 1994, were contested by 8 political parties. Out of the 8, only 3 went into parliament. But if you look at our politics since then, we started regionalistic politics. People supported Chihana because they were from the north and it was from the north. People supported Dr. Banda because he was from the center and he was from the center. People supported Bakir Muruzi because he was from the south and he was from the south. This has been bedeviling our politics since then.
Time is
and not only that.
So I'm running out of time, Mr. Mpasu, but before you go, you haven't answered my question of whether you are part of those that are talking on forming an alliance. Are you doing that?
No, there are no talks as such, but we'll get involved and let the nation know. We are not opposed to cooperating with others. We want to cooperate with others. But we need democracy in our political parties. There's no internal democracy, and that's why people are forced out to go and form their own political party.
You mean in your political party or all the political parties in the country?
The main political parties they did not have internal democracy.
Mr. Mpasu, time is up, but let me once again thank you very much for the time that you spared and talked to us in the program Capital Straight Talk today. I wish you well, Mr. Mpasu.
I thank you too. Thank you very much, and greetings to you all.
Thank you very much indeed.
Welcome.